The Young and the Restless Spoilers shock. Kane Ashby, once a seemingly average man with a complicated past, has transformed into a billionaire in a remarkably short amount of time. His rise to power has sparked intrigue and suspicion in Genoa City, with many wondering how someone with such a checkered history could suddenly amass such wealth. The question on everyone's mind is, who is really behind Kane's meteoric success? Some suspect that there must be a hidden hand guiding him, a mysterious figure pulling the strings. But could it also be possible that Kane's success is simply the result of luck and sharp business instincts? In the world of the young and the restless, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Recently, Kane invited the key players of Genoa City to a lavish event in Nice, promising them that he had changed. He painted himself as a man who had turned over a new leaf, one who had become a self-made billionaire. With charming smiles and smooth words, he reassured the guests that his new status was merely the result of hard work, and there was no hidden agenda behind the event. According to Kane, this gathering was simply an introduction to his new life, a chance to show the world that he was a changed man, now wealthy and influential without any ulterior motives. But, as always in the world of Y&R, things are never that simple. Behind the scenes, Kane's motives are far more complicated than he lets on. His invitation to Nice and the celebration of his new wealth were all part of a much bigger scheme. Kane had carefully orchestrated this moment, setting a trap for those around him. The event was his way of weaving an intricate web of power and influence, using his newfound wealth to manipulate those closest to him. What Kane didn't reveal to his guests was that this celebration was more about power plays than a simple party. It was the beginning of a new chapter in his quest for control, one that would shake Genoa City to its core. In the midst of the festivities, a shocking revelation is made. Diane Jenkins, a woman no stranger to intrigue and drama herself, stumbles upon a secret that leaves her visibly shaken. As she reads the note in her hands, her world seems to shatter. Her expression turns to one of disbelief, and soon, her emotions spill over in tears. The secret contained within that paper is enough to change everything. Diane's distress is palpable as she realizes the magnitude of what has been revealed. What could be so terrible that it drives her to tears? What secret has Kane uncovered that could have such a profound effect on everyone? In the aftermath of Diane's revelation, the atmosphere becomes tense. Kyle Abbott, always protective of his mother, rushes to her side, offering comfort as she struggles to process the truth. He holds her tightly, offering her a sense of security amid the chaos. But as Kyle looks up at Jack Abbott, his biological father, the look in his eyes is one of judgment and disgust. The family is on the verge of unraveling, and Kyle can't help but question everything. How did it all come to this? What was supposed to be a celebratory event is now fraught with betrayal, secrets, and raw emotions. The scene becomes charged with the weight of the secrets that have been uncovered. Kane, with his enigmatic presence, stands in the background, knowing that his actions have set the stage for this moment of turmoil. The question now lingers, what exactly did Kane reveal? Was it a secret so devastating that it could destroy the bonds of family forever? And more importantly, what role does Jack play in all of this? The look of betrayal in Kyle's eyes suggests that something far deeper is at play, and the tension between father and son is palpable. As the storm brews, Kane's intentions come into sharper focus. Did he manipulate the situation to his advantage, using the secret to drive a wedge between the Abbott family? Is this a deliberate act of revenge for past wrongs? Or is Kane simply playing a high-stakes game where the lives of those around him are just pawns? What Kane has set in motion may be the beginning of a new era of power and control in Genoa City, but at what cost? As the family confronts the truth of what has been revealed, Jack must face the possibility that he may have betrayed his family in a way that cannot be undone. Kyle's trust in him, already fragile, is now shattered. The implications of the secret threaten to change the course of their relationships, and no one is immune from the fallout. The dynamic between father and son is forever altered, and the Abbott family must come to terms with the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Cain, meanwhile, stands as the puppet master behind the curtain, watching as his carefully laid plans come to fruition. His rise to power was never just about money. It was about control, about dismantling those who have wronged him in the past. Cain has always been a man of many faces, and this latest move is yet another chapter in his complex journey. But as the fallout begins, Cain will have to confront the consequences of his actions. Is he prepared for the storm he has unleashed, or will the winds of betrayal blow back in his face? In Genoa City, as secrets unravel and betrayals come to light, the drama is far from over. Cain's actions have set off a chain reaction that will leave everyone questioning who they can trust and how far they are willing to go to protect their own. The Abbott family, caught in the web of Cain's machinations, will have to find a way to survive the storm if they can. The lines between ally and enemy are blurring, and in the end, no one will come out of this unscathed. The tension in Genoa City has reached new heights as Jack Abbott's carefully constructed world begins to crack. The revelation that Cain Ashby has orchestrated this entire ordeal sends shockwaves through the Abbott family, threatening to undo years of hard work, relationships, and trust. Jack, ever the calculating businessman, is now faced with a crisis of unprecedented proportions, one that will not only affect his family but could also destroy the legacy of Jabot. Jack Abbott has always been a man of control. In the ruthless world of business, trust is a rare commodity, and Jack has learned over the years to keep his closest allies at arm's length. The people closest to him, whether family or business partners, are all seen as temporary, expendable players in his ever-evolving game. This is especially true when it comes to his son Kyle and the woman who once shared his life, Diane. Jack has always kept a watchful eye on his son's ambitions, constantly assessing whether Kyle is fit to inherit his position at Jabot. However, the unexpected blow of Cain's revelation may have triggered something much deeper within Jack, something that could alter the course of his family's future forever. Rumors have swirled that Jack may have been planning to cut both Kyle and Diane from the inheritance line at Jabot. As Jack watched them both rise in the company, he became increasingly skeptical of their ability to run the business. In Jack's mind, the Abbott legacy cannot be left in the hands of anyone who is not fully committed to the family's vision. However, Jack's plans were always shrouded in secrecy, and he had never fully disclosed his intentions to Kyle or Diane. The realization that Cain may have exposed this secret plan has sent Diane into a tailspin. As the tension escalates, Diane's emotions finally boil over. The secret she has uncovered, one that likely involves Jack's betrayal of her trust, sends her into a state of pure hysteria. For the first time in a long while, Diane is completely unhinged. She can't believe what she's just read, and the truth of Jack's actions cuts deeper than any betrayal she has ever faced. In a fit of anger and disbelief, Diane rips the paper to shreds, her mind racing with a mix of shock, pain, and fury. Her reaction is raw, a stark contrast to the composed woman Jack has come to know over the years. Diane's outburst is not just emotional, it's a declaration of war. The revelation of Jack's cold, calculated decision to undermine her place in the family and the business is the final straw. Diane's history is filled with manipulation, deceit, and betrayal, and she's not about to let Jack get away with this one. She's lost her control, and now she's ready to take matters into her own hands. She'll make sure that Jack understands the consequences of crossing her. In her mind, this betrayal is personal, and no amount of time or distance will make her forget the sting of Jack's actions. Jack, overwhelmed by the chaos he has just unleashed, can't contain his frustration. His entire world is beginning to unravel, and the only person who stands between him and total destruction is Cain. His fury reaches a boiling point, and without thinking, he rushes to Cain, seizing him by the throat. "What did you do?" Jack roars, his grip tightening. "What is that secret? Why did you push her to this point?" Cain, as calm and collected as ever, meets Jack's rage with a cool, calculating stare. Cain is no stranger to Jack's temper, and he's prepared for whatever Jack might throw his way. However, this time it's different. Jack is desperate, out of control, and Kane knows that this moment is a turning point. With a measured tone, Kane responds, "It's not just about Diane, Jack. It's about you. About what you've been hiding for so long. About your plan to cut your own son out of the family business." Jack is taken aback. The accusation strikes him at his core. "You're lying," he spits, his voice filled with disbelief. But the look in Kane's eyes tells him that this is not just some fabricated story. Kane's words hold weight, and the implications are too much to ignore. Jack suddenly finds himself questioning everything he thought he knew about his own family. What happens next is a blur of confusion and regret. Jack, in his blind rage, doesn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. He doesn't realize that his actions have led to this moment. Diane's rage, Kane's scheming, and Kyle's growing distrust, all of it is the result of Jack's own decisions. But Jack is too consumed by his fear of losing control to see that he has already lost everything. His grip on Kane loosens, and the two men stand in a tense stalemate, both knowing that the secrets they've been keeping can no longer stay hidden. Jack's mind races as he tries to piece together the mess he's created. His relationship with Kyle is fraying at the edges, and now, Diane, who has always been a wild card in his life, is a force to be reckoned with. She will not go down quietly, and Jack knows that her revenge will be swift and unforgiving. The future of Jabot, the future of his family, is hanging by a thread. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Jack is left with a hard truth: he has no one to blame but himself. Kane's revelation about his secret plan to exclude Kyle and Diane from the inheritance line is the catalyst for a much bigger storm. Jack may have thought he was protecting his empire, but in doing so, he has alienated the very people who could have helped him build it. As Jack stands alone, with his world crumbling around him, he must face the harsh reality that his actions have consequences. Kane, Diane, and even Kyle have become pieces in a much larger game, a game that Jack never expected to lose. But as the fallout continues, the question remains: can Jack salvage what's left of his family, or is it too late to repair the damage he's caused? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: The Young and the Restless is about to get even more dramatic, and the stakes have never been higher.